All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Catalunya. Andrew Lau and Adam Barker on the front row. Rudolph Gunther, Wessel Stevens have the second row. Walid Feza and Roman Berg on the third row. Patrick Pieper, Mike Marshall have the fourth row. Andrew Spillane and Harry Volsmere rounding out the top 10. Christian Orr starts in 11th next to Jordan Butler in 12th. Jason Leonard in 13th. Yannick, we all wish you were here to run into Adam just a smidge. Adam's Mercedes, very disappointing. I did not see Hello Kitty represented on it anywhere. Now, this is the current version of Catalunya, so the drivers do have that chicane at the end right before the final turn, and they have the tighter turn shortly before that. Most of the drivers talked about it this morning, said they prefer the classic version. The two changes to this track definitely ruin the flow in the final sector. All right, Walid Feza will be starting from pit road. That's a bit of a surprise. The rest of the field is rolling. The track temperature has come down even further. Track temperature currently 98 degrees. When practice, they were up almost to 110. Air temperature still holding around 71, 72. It is late in the day. Temperature's likely to cool. Pace car is in. Lau can fire anytime he fires out of the final turn. They are down and away. The green flag flies. They are underway at Catalunya. And how spicy will turn one get? Wessel shoots to the inside on Barker. Wessel's going for the lead. Wessel in attack mode takes, it gets close coming out of there. Out of that first set of turns, and the entire top five has changed, but Wessel is taking the lead. Lau is around into the sand. Roman Berg on the move as well, as is Patrick Pieper. Harry Volksmere already up 4 spots into 6th. The 3 Mustangs nose to tail mid-pack. That is dangerous for the fans. Oh, Harry cuts it through the sand. He'll get a slowdown on that. Note the stewards did not give him a slowdown on that one. Jordan Butler overshot into the turn. He's going to lose several spots. He gets right up onto the bumper of Spillane. That was a close one. Meanwhile, Wessel Stevens coming through that final chicane. Looks like he will lead lap 1. Walid Feza did get out on track. And Wessel will lead him down the front stretch and lead lap 1. That was definitely a wild and eventful start. Andrew Lau on the attack, trying to make up some ground here. And let's see if we can take a quick look at some of those lap 1 incidents. All right, keep an eye on Andrew Lau in the Ferrari. As he's side by side with Adam, looks like he cut in too far, just barely taps Adam, and it sends him out. He lost a lot of ground. And a few moments later, we saw this with Jordan Butler, just sends it way too deep into the turn. Can't get that Ferrari to make that turn tight enough. Comes out right onto the bumper of the Corvette, but everybody holds on. Oh, look at that. Wessel jumping the curbing there. As we mentioned during the pre-race, this version of the track, the drivers prefer the older classic version, but this version of the track, that final third of the track, not as exciting. The flow just isn't there. Man, the first half of this track has been non-stop excitement all morning. Patrick Pieper is now up into 4th. Harry Volsmir up now. Harry's trying to make the move to the inside. Harry will take 4th. Pieper now into 5th. Roman Berg in 6th. Mike Marshall is up to 7th, right behind the Mustangs. Jordan Butler in 8th. Andrew Lau now in 9th. Lau has a lot of ground to make up, not a lot of time to do it. And wow, we've got a 3-car battle back here. Jason Leonard, Andrew Spillane, and Christian Orr all going at it. McLaren, Chevy McLaren. Spillane looks to the inside, into the left-hander, gets the nose in. The McLaren able to power out just a little bit better. Wow, a lot better on that one. Christian Orr sitting back there waiting for the opportunity. Open the door, Waleed is coming through. Waleed right into the back bumper of the Chevy, unsettles it, but backs off. They both save it. Harry Volsmir up in 4th now, up 6 spots. Just set the fastest lap so far. Mike Marshall on the move, now up into 6th place. That new Aston has been putting on quite a show. Plus, that new Aston does sound really, really good. Try and get a closer view of it so you guys can hear how good that Aston sounds later on once he's got a little room around him. Wessel Stevens out front. Remember, a good finish this morning gives him the points lead. He is only 1 point out of the lead, and as of right now, he will take it. Adam Barker in 2nd, Rudolph Gunther in 3rd. A great points run for Rudolph here today. He is currently 4th in points. could make up quite a bit of ground as well. Harry Volsmir, though, on the attack. He is closing the gap on Rudolph at the moment. Patrick Pieper currently in 5th. Mike Marshall now into 6th. Roman Berg in 7th, right on his bumper. Jordan Butler in 8th. Andrew Lau still in 9th. Waleed now in 10th. Jason Leonard, Christian Orr, and Andrew Spillane have settled down just a little bit, put some space between themselves. Meanwhile, pole sitter Andrew Lau still trying to make up some ground after that lap 1 incident. Whoa! Jordan Butler has a little bit of a problem, may have had a little bit of a bump, and Andrew Lau able to capitalize and take 8. And thank you for the sub, Seneker. Wessel is opening up his lead, 2.3 seconds at the moment, but Harry Volsmir has caught up to Rudolf Gunther. Harry trying to set up, he has the run to the inside, gets a little of the curb, it looks like he got a little squirrely. But on the power, he is going to clear the Porsche. Harry now to 3rd. Andrew Lau, the pole sitter, still back in 8th. Jordan on his bumper in 9th. Roman Bergen. Mike Marshall just ahead. Harry has consistently set the fastest lap the last 3 laps in a row. He is the fastest car on track and looks like a little bit of cloud cover coming over the track. It is getting a little bit later. There is the possibility race 2, part of it will be under the lights. The track temperature does continue to come down. That will give the drivers a bit more grip. And as much as the drivers this morning were talking about the lack of front grip on some of these cars, just due to the hot track temperature, that cooler temp is really going to help. Still a bit of a freight train back here. Mike Marshall, Roman Berg, Andrew Lau, Jordan Butler, all right there together. All separated by about 1.5 seconds. One mistake could change that whole group in a blink of an eye. They are closing in on 5th place, Patrick Pieper. Wessel Stevens did just pick up a little bit of a slowdown. He's having to burn that off, and that is allowing Adam Barker to get closer. The chicane is definitely not one place you want to be giving up time. Barker closes in dramatically. They head back out onto the front stretch. Andrew Spillane had a problem a moment ago as Adam Barker has just set the fastest lap. Let's see what happened with Spillane. On the power through that little S section, and the back end just steps around on him. Does get it turned around, pointed the right way, and back on track quickly. Great recovery. And Adam Barker has just picked up a slowdown as well, giving Wessel a little ground back. Folks, don't forget this race will be on YouTube later today in 4K. Roman Berg has gotten past Mike Marshall to take 6. Mike has his hands full as Andrew Lau right on his bumper. That Ferrari trying to make up ground after that lap 1 incident. And looks like Lau could cut the inside a little sharper. He gets on the power on the outside. Mike trying to push back even out of the turn, headed into the chicane. Who will it be? Lau just sends it. And makes it work. Andrew Lau currently in 7th. And more importantly, if he finishes in 7th in this one, going into race 2, he will start on the pole. The top 7 will invert. Meanwhile, Harry Volsmir continues to set the fastest laps. And he is closing in on Adam Barker. Harry qualified back in 10th, already up to 3rd, continuously setting the fastest laps all morning. And as this track cools, he just gets faster. Wessel continues to lead. His lead now 2.8 seconds over Adam. Harry about 1.8 seconds back at closing. Rudolf Gunther back in 4th. Patrick Pieper holds on to 5th for the moment. Roman Berg in 6th, 2.8 seconds back, but he is closing in. Andrew Lau in 7th, Mike Marshall now in 8th, Jordan Butler in 9th, Christian Orr in 10th. Waleed Feza currently in 11th, Jason Leonard in 12th, and the rookie Andrew Spillane in 13th. Wessel's lead still right at 2.5 seconds. Harry Volsmere 1.6 seconds back from Barker, continuing to close in. Andrew Lau, who was on the pole to the lap 1 incident, has slipped even further back, but has made his way back up into 7th. He is closing in on 6th place Roman Berg. Meanwhile, Jordan Butler and Christian Orr both getting slowdowns. Both have cleared them. But it is allowing Wally to close back up on him. Wessel started this race in 4th, but has charged up into the lead. After a dominant week last week at Mexico City, he is on a tear. Adam Barker holds about 2.4 seconds back. Harry has lost some ground to the top 2. Rudolph Gunther is closing back in at 4th. Wessel sending it off into the chicane. Should see the white flag this time. Whoa! Wessel really sending it through that final turn. I didn't catch a glimpse of Barney the flag man there, but guessing this will be their final lap. And 7th place, Andrew Lau just set the fastest lap so far, 1:45.30. The track temperature has dropped to 88 degrees. These guys will have a lot more speed in race 2 as the day gets later. Air temperature now down to 70 degrees, helping those engines run even cleaner. And it is 5:12 track time. Race 2 is going to get even better with the top 7 invert and the cooler track. Wessel heads to the chicane one more time. And out of the final turn, Wessel starts the week like he did last week. Wessel Stevens will win race 1 at Catalunya. And at the last moment on the last lap, Rudolph Gunther takes 3rd. Well, that was an interesting last lap change. Let's see if we can get a word with our top 3 if they're not in the infield care center, because, man, they tore them up. Starting with Rudolph Gunther. Rudolph, you managed to make a last lap pass and take third. You definitely had a lot of speed early in the race, though.
Yeah, it was great. I was a little bit surprised that the Porsche was able to stay on track today. And I think Harry got a slowdown or two terrible slowdowns at the end. So I had the chance to come closer. And so he just had no chance because of the slowdown.
Well, it
The
still worked in your favor, and you had some fast laps early on.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. It was great, a good race. Even though I don't really like this track, but I must say the Ford has a little bit more muscles than the Porsche, but the Porsche is very twisty during the curves.
Well, not only that, but the Ford is actively trying to kill the fans, too. So there's that.
That's true.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
great job this morning, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doc.
Rudolph Gunther coming home in third. Adam Barker finishes in second. Adam, you almost held him off at the start of the race. You guys had quite a battle to start this one out.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened with Andrew. I'll have to look back at that one if it was me or not. But yeah, it was a good start. I made a little bit of a mess at the start and I didn't shift up. I was hitting the limiter. That's why Wessel was all over me. I was sort of begging Wessel for a bump draft, but he decided to go down the inside, which made the first lap really quite interesting to say the least. And then just trying to hunt him down. I knew I was a little bit quicker, but in the middle of the stint got a slow down, and then all of the progress I'd made was gone then. So
Well, still a great run this morning and a great finish. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, really good race, and we'll see what we can do from P6. It's going to be interesting trying to get past everyone, but the Merc's definitely got the power for it.
Definitely does. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
And finally, our winner, Wessel Stevens. Wessel, you start the week this week where you ended last week in victory lane.
Yeah, I had a very good run out of the tight start, so managed to win the race in turn one basically. Then it was controlling the race. This race will be way harder because there are some very quick guys in front of me, so not sure if I will be first place again, but let's see.
Well, hopefully so. You did take the point after race one. You take the points lead away from David Gallant, and I mean, getting the points lead this early in the season, and already starting to open up a bit of a gap on Roman, Rudolph, and Adam. That's a great start to the season.
Yeah, I'm very glad with it. Let's see if I can be the one who can beat Adam, because Adam is of course the ninth world of 9 in a row.
I believe it's 9, not in a row, because Giancarlo was in there a couple of times, but yeah, you got to put a stop to that.
Yeah, I will try. I give it my best shot.
Well, you definitely did last week in Mexico. Hopefully you can do it again today, buddy. Great run so far.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. I will try. See ya.
Wessel Stevens, another win. 2 wins last week, 1 win so far this week. Can he do it again? He'll have to start back in 7th place. Now, he started race 1 from 4th, so he does know how to get through the crowd quickly, but man, it's going to be a little bit tricky. And with these track temperatures coming down, things are going to get even more interesting. The track temp now down to 88. Air temperature down to 70, so it's definitely cooling off. It is getting later in the day. There is the possibility race 2 will end under the lights. As always, folks, if you have a favorite driver, don't forget to drop in the comments and let us know who you're cheering for. All right, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go for race 2 at Catalunya. All right, folks, here we go. Race 2 from Catalunya. Roman Berg and Andrew Lau will have the front row. Patrick Pieper and Harry Volsmeer on the second row. Rudolf Gunther, Adam Barker have the third row. Wessel Stevens, after winning race 1, starts in 7th next to Mike Marshall in 8th. Jordan Butler, Christian Orr rounding out the top 10. Waleed Feza, Jason Leonard, and Andrew Spillane rounding out the field. Track temperature still holding only a few minutes later, but I guarantee you this track temp is going to come down throughout this race. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one. The Porsche pace car getting a big head start. Alright, now they're rolling. The pace car is about 2 or 3 turns ahead at the moment. Pace car caught Roman napping, apparently. Roman is in control once the pace car hits pit road. This could be a very, very interesting start. As the pace car is in out of the final turn, Roman is fired. They are away. And the green flag flies at Catalunya. And Roman has a huge advantage down into turn 1. Lau right on him. As we've got a battle back behind. Wessel Stevens versus Adam Barker once again. And is it just me, or do the two Mercedes, do they kind of look like opposites? Anyway, Andrew Lau up at the front battling with Roman side by side. And Harry all over him. Roman pulls away for the moment. Harry side by side with Lau. Lau now clears him. And look at this. Wessel already up to 4th, right on Pieper's bumper. Roman Berg continuing to lead this one. A little bit wide for Roman, but he does not get a slowdown on that. Lau's still there. Lau able to cut that turn a little tighter. He might set up. Couldn't quite get there to set up into the chicane. Still a lot of battling. Oh, look at Rudolf Gunther just cutting through traffic. Gunther now to 6th. As Roman Berg leads him down the front stretch, he will lead lap 1. Lau right on the bumper, looks to the inside into 1, can't get there. Oh! Roman overshoots it. He gets a big slowdown. It's Andrew Lau to the lead. Christian Noor had a problem back behind. He has towed it in. Let's see what happened. There's Chris coming through the final turn. Holy cow. Chris ends up in the wall, but let's take a look here at Waleed. Looked like Waleed may have been where this started. Just loses the back end, and Chris has nowhere to go. Bounces off and smacks the inside wall. Andrew Lau out front, starting to pull a gap. Roman Berg in second, but look who's now in third. Wessel Stevens is on the march. Pieper now in fourth, Rudolph Gunther in fifth, and Harry has slipped all the way back into ninth. Christian Noor does have his car repaired. He is back out on track. Jason Leonard did not take the grid. The sun is back out for the moment here in Spain, and these constantly changing conditions, definitely a little bit tricky for the drivers. That little bit of shade they had earlier when the clouds came over does cool the track a couple of degrees. They adjust to the cooler track, and then suddenly the sun comes back out, things heat back up, and there may have been a problem with Harry a moment ago. Harriet obviously had a problem. There's something wrong with his, he's missing his rear wing. Wow, Harry had heavy damage, and let's smack it up and see what happened. Harry just the back end steps out and he goes straight into the tire wall. Hit so hard it knocks that rear wing off and he has to limp it to pit road. Andrew Lau still out front, Roman Berg in second, Wessel in third, Patrick Pieper in fourth, Rudolph Gunther in fifth, Jordan Butler in sixth, Adam Barker slipped back into seventh, Mike Marshall lurking back in eighth, Andrew Spillane in ninth, Waleed Feza in 10th. Harry is back out on track in 11th. Christian Noor in 12th. Andrew Lau is definitely pushing. He has set the fastest lap 2 laps in a row. Trying to get as much of a gap here in the early going as possible. Oh! Roman Berg overshot through the dirt. And that just changed the top 3 in a big way. Patrick Pieper now to second, Wessel to third. But Rudolph Gunther right there with them. And a bit of a battle back behind. Jordan Butler, one of the rookies, now up into 5th. Barker in 6th, Roman in 7th. And all the Barcelona battling back behind is allowing Andrew Lau to set some blistering pace. He is pulled out to a 3.4 second lead. Wessel is on pit road. This is too early for a fuel stop. And Andrew Spillane has had a problem and towed to pit road. Let's take a look at a couple of incidents. Alright, here's Roman Berg coming down. Just loses the back end and ends up going through the sand. That cost him about 5 spots. Then a few moments later, Andrew Spillane, the rookie. And it looks like Spillane just stops on the front stretch. There is definitely some weirdness going on track this morning. Andrew Lau's lead now over 4 seconds over Rudolph Gunther. Patrick Pieper in third. Adam Barker now at fourth. Jordan Butler in fifth. Roman Berg on his bumper in sixth. Mike Marshall in seventh. Wessel now back in eighth. That pit stop, unexpected pit stop for Wessel, was a huge, huge setback. Unlikely that Wessel will be able to pull off the sweep again this week after that. Rudolph Gunther in second, about 4 1/4 seconds back, but he is definitely pushing it, trying to close that gap on the Ferrari of Andrew Lau. Unfortunately, the Porsche does have that straight line speed deficiency, not nearly as fast as some of the other cars, and that long front straightaway is going to cost them some time. Adam Barker now up into fourth, trying to close in on Patrick Pieper in third. Shouldn't be too hard. Patrick Pieper is driving a Mustang. It'll try and attack the fans at any moment. Gotta hand it to the rookie, Jordan Butler, this morning, currently running in fifth. Jordan having one heck of a run this morning. Also appears he is stealing Harry Volsmeer's paint schemes. Because that's Harry's paint. Every car, it doesn't matter. Harry's running that solid black and you gotta love it. And Andrew Lau just set the fastest lap of race 2. However, he does have a car ahead. Christian Orr in 11th. Wessel Stevens, after his pit stop, back 17.8 seconds. Behind 7th place, Mike Marshall. Wessel has a lot of ground to make up. Rudolph Gunther still holds on to second. Pieper in third has Barker right on the bumper. Barker does often, in that Mercedes, have the straight line advantage, but the Mustang does have fairly comparable straight line speed. However, that Mustang does lack rear grip going off into the turns, and especially coming out of the turn, as here we go, the Mercedes has the run down the long front stretch. Into turn 1, Adam Barker to third. Adam did pick up a bit of a slowdown through there. Will he be able to give up the time without giving up the position? Jordan Butler back in 5th. Also, no, I am sorry, Roman. Yeah, it was Jordan Butler. Picked up a slowdown. Both drivers have cleared it and maintained position. Andrew Lau's lead now 4.1 seconds over Rudolph Gunther. Adam Barker now in third, 2.25 seconds back. He is closing the gap. And Mercedes will have the advantage on the straightaways over the Porsche of Gunther. Christian Norris had a problem. Remember, the leader was closing in. Let's see what happened. Chris coming through that first couple of turns, gets on the power a little too hard and just runs it to the outside wall. Ouch. Lau's lead is starting to shrink just a little bit. Rudolph Gunther has found a bit more speed. Now just 3 seconds behind in closing. The Porsche definitely has the advantage through this tight final sector. Through those tight turns and through the chicane, the Porsche able to eat more track a lot faster than the Mercedes. Rudolph has pulled a gap as well on Adam Barker, 2.25 seconds. Patrick Pieper in 4th, starting to fall back, and Jordan Butler in 5th is closing in. Adam Barker in 3rd now has the fastest lap, and I'm betting the track has the track has cooled down even more, now down to 85-degree track temp. Meanwhile, Andrew Lau continues to lead, but Rudolph Gunther is inching closer and closer. Adam Barker in third, now just over 2 seconds behind Gunther. Patrick Pieper in fourth. As we approach the halfway point, we might start seeing some early stops. Track condition was hot when they started the race. It has cooled down. It's definitely going to play into the tire strategy. A lot of drivers were talking earlier that if it stayed hot, they would change at least front tires. But with it cooling down, the question is, who's going to change tires? Will it be 2? Will it be all 4? Harry Volsmir in 10th, trying to reclaim some ground here, as is 8th place Wessel Stevens. In 9th place Waleed Feza. Wessel currently in 8th. Last time by was the fastest car on track. He did win race 1, but that early incident was a huge setback as it appears Roman Burgess had a problem. There's Roman in the Mustang. And we saw it earlier with Harry just lose his rear grip. We have seen it countless times since this Mustang has been introduced, just the lack of rear grip in that car. Rudolph Gunther in second, still trying to close that gap a little more. Adam Barker in third, now less than 2 seconds behind Rudolph. He is starting to close in. Wessel Stevens is starting to make up some ground on Roman after Roman's incident. Mike Marshall holding on to 6th. The lone Aston here this morning. But that Aston does sound good. That is a beautiful sounding engine. Mercedes actually used to be the best sounding engine in the sim, but and that Aston sounded pretty good. And next time by, they will be just shy of halfway. Likely to see a few drivers go ahead and duck in. But a lot of these guys will try and stretch right to the fuel limit. Wessel Stevens did come in early. And all he did was top off on fuel. Waleed Feza is in. I have to wonder, I don't think Wessel Stevens can go the distance on that early pit stop, but I've been wrong before. And it looks like Waleed is getting tires and fuel. All right, Andrew Lau coming through. Despite how close we are to halfway, I don't expect he'll be in. Nope. The next few laps may see a few drivers in. The guys up front, some of them may try and undercut to get an advantage. It's interesting to note, last time we were here, the drivers were on the classic configuration, and a lot of the drivers really enjoyed it, but when you come to this configuration with the chicane, the drivers do not like it nearly as much. That third sector definitely ruins the flow of the track. Mike Marshall currently running in 6th. Mike has been close to victory lane a lot in the last couple of seasons. Today not going his way, but man, we do expect to see Marshall in victory lane before the end of the season. Speaking of tomorrow, or next Sunday rather, we will be at Indy at the road course. A week after that, we are at Hockenheim, followed by Sebring. Then, one of my favorite road courses after Sebring, we're at Interlagos. After Interlagos, we're going to Suzuka, then Mount Panorama, Watkins Glen, and my absolute favorite road course, Mugello. What better way to finish the season than at Mugello? Well, it looks like the clouds are covering part of the track yet again. Will we see the lap times, even with all this tire wear, will we see the lap times go down? Looking at last laps, last time by, a lot of drivers set their fastest lap last time by. Based on the lap times I'm seeing, I do not expect to see very many tire changes. As of right now, Waleed is the only driver that has put on fresh tires. Now the question is, can he capitalize once he gets those tires heated to temp? Can he get it done? Hold on to it, Rudolph. Adam Barker has finally caught up to the bumper of Rudolph Gunther. They have pulled a gap on 4th place, Patrick Pieper, 5th place, Jordan Butler. Oh, Butler, what happened? He is around and into the inside wall. And a heartbreak for one of the rookies who is on a great run this morning. There's Jordan coming out of the chicane, just onto the power a little too hard, and just gives the inside wall a little kiss before getting it turned around. Rudolph Gunther still has Barker right on the bumper. They are about 3 seconds behind Andrew Lau at the moment. Adam does have the advantage. Remember, on the straightaway, the Mercedes has the straight line speed and the power advantage, but that Porsche, driven by Rudolf Gunther, is faster through the curves. Wessel Stevens back in 7th, just set the fastest lap of the morning, 1:45.15. There was discussion during pre-race about the fact that the lap times here were slower than they were in officials this week. However, the track temp here was higher than officials by quite a significant amount. Wessel has caught up to the back bumper of Jordan Butler after Butler's earlier problems. And both of them are closing in on 5th place, Mike Marshall. The top 3 continue to stay out. Patrick Pieper also going to stay out. Mike Marshall going to continue to stretch it. Will either of these two come in? Does not look like it. Roman Berg will be the first one in for fuel. Now, will it be fuel only, or will Roman take tires? He hits his stall. Finally, looks like it's going to be fuel only for Roman Berg. He is ready to go. Team finally gets him away. And based on the amount of fuel Roman had to take, I don't think Wessel Stevens can make it to the end on his earlier stop. Andrew Lau continues to stay out front. Barker gives up 3rd. He is in. This should be fuel only for Adam. In his stall, the car does not go up on the jack, so no fuel for, or no tires rather for him. Patrick Pieper also fuel only, and here comes Jordan Butler. Barker already on his way back out. Patrick Pieper on his way out. Here comes Jordan Butler. And it'll be fuel only for Butler as well. Wessel Stevens now up into 4th. Remember, he made a very early pit stop on lap 4. Only took about 5 seconds worth of fuel. I don't think that's enough. I think he will have to make another stop. However, if he has been conserving, who knows? If I am wrong and Wessel does not need to pit, he should easily move into the lead as Andrew Lau has gone to pit road. Rudolf Gunther is in. Lau will be fuel only as he hits his pit stall. Rudolf Gunther also fuel only. Wessel Stevens is in. He could not go the distance. Mike Marshall now has the lead for the moment. But he has not been in yet. And through the cycle of pit stops, Adam Barker has moved into 2nd. Once Mike Marshall completes his stop, we'll take a look through the field and see where your favorite drivers are. Right now, Andrew Lau into 2nd, Barker in 3rd, Rudolf Gunther in 3rd. And here we go, Mike Marshall is headed to pit road. This will be the final stop of the morning. Andrew Lau reclaims the lead. Harry Volsmir is also in. Adam Barker in 2nd, almost 5 seconds back. Rudolf Gunther in 3rd, 1.3 seconds behind Barker. Patrick Pieper currently in 4th. Mike Marshall comes back out in 5th. Wessel Stevens in 6th. Wessel is closing in on Marshall. Jordan Butler currently runs in 7th. Roman Berg in 8th. Harry Volsmir now in 9th as he comes off pit road while lead currently running in 10th. Chris Janor out early in 11th. Jason Leonard did not start, and Andrew Spillane still on pit road for repairs. Andrew Lau with a big lead at the moment, just needs to cruise it around, not push it for the next few laps. Rudolph Gunther in third, losing ground now to Adam Barker in second. Adam is pushing it, trying to close the gap on Andrew Lau. Patrick Pieper back in fourth, Mike Marshall in fifth. Wessel Stevens in sixth is closing the gap. He is about 2.8 seconds behind Mike Marshall, but he is closing quickly. If Wessel hustles it, he might still be able to pull off a top 5 finish. He will go to the points lead this morning. But this race is definitely going to have a bit of a points shakeup. It appears Wessel may have picked up a black flag. We'll see if he comes into pit road here. Wessel did not come in to serve that black flag. We'll see what happens. Andrew Lau, meanwhile, has extended his lead to 5.3 seconds over Adam Barker. Rudolph Gunther about 3.1 seconds back in third, Pieper in fourth, Mike Marshall in fifth. Worth noting, Rudolph Gunther, he came into the morning fourth in points, is likely going to pick up into the top 3. Could potentially move into second in points. Now the question is, will Wessel come in to serve the black flag? Oh, yes, he is coming in. A little squirrely, but he's coming in. Man, what a heartbreak. A great start to this morning. Race 2 is definitely not going his way. Wessel has completed his drive-through penalty, drops back into 7th. He should still be able to hold on to the points lead this morning. But he will not open up the big gap he was hoping for today. Seven minutes left to go as Andrew Lau comes down the front stretch once again. Lau's Ferrari has been the fastest all of race 2. Adam Barker keeps trying to close that gap, but just can't get there. However, he has pulled a bit of a gap on third place. Rudolph Gunther now 6.8 seconds. Patrick Pieper back and forth. Mike Marshall holds on to fifth. The rookie Jordan Butler overcoming some early issues, currently in sixth. Wessel in seventh. Harry Volsmere currently in eighth. Roman Berg in ninth, and Waleed in 10th. We haven't taken a lap around the track yet this morning, so let's dial up the in-car camera of Adam Barker. Adam coming out of that final turn on the power. Heads down to the start-finish line. Downhill toward turn one, the sharp right-hander. Cuts it right to the inside in the left-hander. Was told by a lot of drivers that Mercedes eats up the bumps. It doesn't get phased by them. Down into another right-hander, almost a horseshoe. Back on the power and downhill again into the left-hander. Easy place to push. Too hard and cause the back end to snap around. A little bit of a kink, then into this left-hander where we have seen a bunch of drivers spin it this morning or go through the dirt. Into the right-hander, cut it over. Then a short straightaway. Then the newer version, cutting it very sharp. Easing it through the right-hander, back on the, whoa, a little bit of back end stepping out. Then into that final chicane. Hitting the bumps and getting back on the power as he comes through that final turn. And sends it down the front stretch once again. Adam did that lap. 146.17 as Harry Volsmere has had a problem. There's Harry through the left-hander and the back end just steps out. And a close call for Roman, but both of them managed to get him pointed the right way. And Roman Berg is now at a problem. Roman heading off into the chicane. Looks like just a little too much through the chicane. He ends up going off into the sand, but does get it going again. Andrew Lau back down the front straightaway. His lead just over 5 seconds. And now we've had a bit of a shakeup back behind. Waleed Feza back in 10th is closing in on 9th place. Roman goes through the sand. Waleed slips by to take 9th. Hey, good morning, Jake. Adam about 5 1/4 seconds back in second. Rudolph in third. 8.9 seconds back. Patrick Pieper in fourth. 5.5 seconds back. Mike Marshall still holding on to fifth. Doing all right, buddy. How are you? The rookie, Jordan Butler, currently running in 6th. Wessel in 7th. Wessel is 3 seconds back in closing, but likely will not have enough time. And the checkered flag will fly this time. Andrew Lau out of the final turn will win race 2 at Catalunya. Adam Barker coming home in second. Rudolph Gunther once again comes home in third. And let's talk to our top 3. Rudolph, 2 races, 2 podiums, and you get to wreck into Adam.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great race. Besides the fact that I lost my shifters at the end of the race, and so I had to. They were very unreliable, and it was very tough to keep up with Adam.
That would be rough. So you just completely lost it, or they just would not shift correctly?
Well, no, they would not shift correctly with a lot of delay in between sometimes, and sometimes even not. So it was strange. I think I have to take a look at the setup here. I made a Windows update last night, and this might explain a little bit why the USB drivers probably don't work correctly. So it happens.
Well, man, still managing to hold on and finish third today. A great finish and a great morning overall. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doc. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Adam Barker coming home in second. Adam, you managed to hold on to second, but just could not run him down.
No, yeah, it was a very interesting start. So I lost a lot of ground towards the start, but I just wanted to stay alive. So just thought I could pick everyone off with the pace of the Mercedes today, and it nearly worked. Just really struggled with the start, yeah, and then just hunting him down at the end. Not quite enough in it to really push on. Andrew was really quick in the second race there, and he.
Well, still an awesome morning and a great points day for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, really nice points day. Been struggling a little bit this year with some bad luck in at least one of the races, so it's nice to get some good points on the board.
Definitely is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And finally, our winner, Andrew Lau. Andrew, you're back on top this morning.
Yeah, kind of quiet race today, but good run.
Well, it was quiet because you just took off.
I mean, everyone behind me also had problems, so yeah, not just me.
You managed to get out very, very quickly in that first lap. I think you had about a 3-second lead at one point in that first lap because of the battling going on behind you. And then, of course, as you mentioned, A couple of guys having troubles, and you just kept kind of pulling away. But once you hit about 5 seconds, that gap pretty much stabilized for the whole race.
Yeah, I didn't see much of a reason to like push super hard and have the possibility of making mistakes or catching those slowdowns. So, whole second half of the race was just trying to maintain the gap and keep it very clean.
Well, it definitely worked in your favor, and a great morning and a great win. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you.
Andrew Lau wins race 2, but folks, don't forget tonight, 9:30 Eastern, we will be back with the SMRX series. This is a playoff cutoff race. 4 drivers will be eliminated here tonight. We will see you for that one. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. We'll see you tonight. Have a good one, everybody.